Anyways, so it's been a while, like a long while, but it's fine. It's fine. We're gonna ignore that part and just like move on. We're just gonna move on. Okay? Cool. So, how's everybody doing? Today I'm gonna talk about the books I read in August. I only read 4, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. I wouldn't say it was the best of books. It wasn't the best reading selection. I only read one book that I would consider good. Well, yikes. I only read one book that I actually really enjoyed out of the 4, which wasn't a lot to begin with. So yeah, there wasn't that much room to work with. Yeah, let's just start from the beginning, of this not great reading month. The first book that I read this month was Call Me By Your Name. I'm gonna be completely honest. The only reason that I chose to read this book is because I wanted to watch the movie. Because Timothée Chalamet is in it. Not because I care about the story or cared about what this book or what the story was about at all. I didn't. I just wanted to see Timothy on screen. And I'm the kind of person that if the movie is based off a book and I haven't read it, I have to read it before I watch it. I'm annoying like that. So I read the book. I didn't like it. The only thing that I knew about this book before going into it was there was a gay romance, and a lot of people didn't like it. I ended up being one of those people. I feel like what most people didn't like about this book was, I guess, how graphic and gross it could get. Like, yes, the peach scene was disgusting, but that wasn't really what did it for me. What did it for me was how boring it was. I felt like in between the romance parts or whatever, the development of the relationship between the two, it was just all really boring and I didn't care. And it was like, I had to force myself to get through it and it just wasn't enjoyable. I gave this book 3 stars. It was a 2-star read throughout the entire thing, and then right at the last 10 pages or so, it moved me. It did. It moved me just a little, and I started crying. So I gave it an extra star. Just threw it on there at the very end. Yeah, it really was just meh. I understand why a lot of people really didn't like this book, and I can also understand why a lot of people really do like this book. I can understand both sides. I think I fell kind of right in the middle of those. Now, the next book I read in August. Oh my goodness. I did not fall in the middle of any side here with this one. From the first page of this book, I knew exactly how I felt, and it is that this book is horrible. It was horrible. And this was, what the fuck is this book called? The Awakening, the first Vampire Diaries book by L.J. Smith. Now, L.J. Smith, L.J., if you're out there, girl, no hate, get that bag, but what is this, girl? What is this? I am currently watching the show. I'm on season 4. So I saw this and I was like, I haven't seen too much about the book series. I know it was written in the 90s or something. It's the Vampire Diaries. So the bar wasn't too high, okay? It wasn't too high to begin with. But this book didn't get anywhere near the bar. No. Just no. I haven't read too many, bad books. Really bad books. I've definitely read a handful of shitty books. But this one, after I finished this book, I said that I genuinely believe that this is the worst book I have ever read thus far in my life. This was so awful. I gave this 1 star. 1 whole star. Usually, if the book is really, really bad, I'll give it at least 2. At least 2. I couldn't give this 2. I couldn't. This deserved no stars. This was so bad. Everybody already knows what the fuck this story's about, the Vampire Diaries, whatever, so I don't really think I need to explain it. But if for some reason you don't, it's about Elena, the main character, Elena. She finds her vampire BF, Stefan. He's right there. And then there's vampire BF brother, Damon. Love triangle. Boom. Great. That's really all you need to know. The insta-love in the TV show was already very instant. Very insta-love. Not something that I particularly enjoy. However, in the book, it was 10 times worse. The CW really read this book and they said, hold on, we can fix this. And that's exactly what they did. This was terrible. So after that, disaster. The third book that I read in August was Punk 57 by Penelope Douglas. I really enjoyed this book. I gave it 4 stars. It's an enemies to lovers. I would recommend it to anyone that enjoys enemies to lovers. I thought it was really fun. It was cute. It was spicy. It was all the things that you would want. But I just didn't think that it was like phenomenal. Honestly, it's kind of forgettable, but it was still good. Like I said, I would recommend it to anyone who likes enemies to lovers, romance books. I didn't know that it was about teenagers, like in high school. I mean, they are like seniors, but I didn't know that it was about teenagers, which is one thing that I was a little bit disappointed about. I thought it was about like adults, but it's okay. It's okay. It was still good regardless. I just wish they were a little bit older, but it's fine. It was definitely refreshing to read that after Vampire Diaries one. That was, I can't get over it. I really can't get over how a book can be that bad. I don't know. That was just wow. Wow. Alright, so the last book that I read was a recommendation from a friend, which is Rue Ordinaire, Rue Labat. I'm not French, so obviously I butchered that pronunciation, by Sarah Kaufman. This was just a really short memoir from Sarah Kaufman of her life during the war and living as a Jewish girl and Holocaust and basically that entire situation. This story was incredibly sad and tragic and devastating. All of the above. However, I felt that it was written very nonchalantly. Maybe not nonchalantly, but I guess indifferent. That's just how the attitude came across, was very indifferent. And I feel like if this book was a little bit longer, like even just like 20 pages longer, I would have been able to feel more while I was reading it. It just kind of felt like it came and went really quickly. Even with that being said, it was still enlightening to read, just reading about her life and her story. So all in all, like I said, it wasn't like flooring, but it was still an enlightening read, and I'm glad that I read it. I gave it 3 stars. I would definitely recommend it to anybody. And those are the 4 books that I read in August, hoping that September brings better books, better reads, and more of them. Definitely more of them, because that was disappointing. I hope that September brings nothing like The Awakening. Again, LJ, girl, love the show. I know you didn't write the show, but you wrote the book the show's based on. And girl, love it. Love it. But the book, I couldn't get behind the Vampire Diaries book series bandwagon. I don't even think there's a bandwagon for it, but if there is, why? I don't know. Thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.